Well, Donald MacPherson is the Executive Director of the Canadian Drug Policy Coalition, a nonpartisan group working to improve Canada's drug policies, and he is in Seal River, Prince Edward Island. So, Donald, hello to you. During the campaign, Trudeau promised to work on a policy to legalize marijuana right away. What are the first steps that the government needs to do in order to make that happen?
Well, I think the first steps are pulling together the right people to make it happen. Obviously, we need a Minister of Health who can, and a Minister of Justice who can work on this file. And he had promised earlier in the campaign that they would, their position was they'd set up an expert commission or committee or working group to take a look at the evidence, experience in other jurisdictions, and engage a broad array of stakeholders in Canada and come up with the best regulatory model that they can. Given what we know at the moment.
Well, as you suggest there, if Canada does legalize marijuana, it won't be the first jurisdiction to do so. In my mind, I think of states in the United States like Colorado as well as Oregon. What lessons do those experiences have for Canada? What cautions do they present to Canada?
Well, I think the cautions, there's two key areas that are the most contentious areas. One of them is driving and trying to figure out how to address the issue of driving and people being intoxicated. That's not a new issue, mind you. It's been going on since cannabis sort of emerged in our society in the 60s and 70s as a common intoxicant. The other issue is commercialization and whether any model that emerges in Canada will allow product promotion and those sorts of independent retail outlets, and which I doubt. Canada's very well positioned to take this challenge on. Our public health community have been working for several years now, writing papers, looking at the evidence of other regulatory systems, looking at the lessons learned from alcohol and tobacco. So we have the Canadian Public Health Association has come out with a paper looking at cannabis regulation. The Centre for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto has come out with a paper, the Health Officers Council of British Columbia. So we're very well positioned with regard to the public health approach to regulating cannabis. Well
positioned, you say, but in practical terms, what will it mean? Will it be pot or marijuana sold in corner stores the way cigarettes are?
I strongly doubt it. I think if we look and if we take a public health approach and look at the lessons from alcohol and tobacco, there won't be product advertising and promotion allowed. It won't be sold in stores, corner stores. It will probably be more of a government monopoly that has a private sector growing cannabis to certain specifications, and government-controlled stores having retail outlets. In the beginning, anyways, I think it would be wise to start cautiously. It's not a new substance, but it's a new era of regulation that's emerging, which is quite exciting.
Well, you say to take it slowly. Trudeau during the election said that he would legalize it right away. What does that mean? When do you think marijuana will actually be legalized in this country?
Yeah, I meant to create a regulatory system and with a cautious approach. I think the sooner the better. I think it will realistically take at least a year, maybe a year and a half to two, to implement such a change. I mean, he's got to deal with his Senate, after all, trying to get legislation through. So there will be lots of work to be done, lots of stakeholders to talk to, and I think it will probably take a year to year and a half.
Donald, thank you so much for your insight and your time. And Donald MacPherson joins us from Seal River, Prince Edward Island.